won over a certain percentage of Mexican fans who had resisted Oscar all those years. There aren't that many Mexican fans who resist Canelo, but those who have been ardently forever in the emotional Chavez camp have to now admit reality about what the difference was between the two.
Yes, they do. And they won't have to see this again because he's totally dominated it and shut it down.
The notion of a rematch would be absurd. And the two fighters with a word for each other. Canelo Alvarez, respectful, Nacho Beristain, the Mexican trainer with a great reputation, who appeared to have constructed exactly the wrong fight plan for Chavez Jr. tonight. Well, the final scores have a ring of authenticity and let's go to Michael Buffer for the official count.
All three judges have the same score, 120 to 108. All to the winner by unanimous decision. De Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, Saúl Canelo Alvarez.
Pride of Guadalajara, a big winner over the native son of Julio Cesar.
This is what we're gonna do. In fact, I'm muted.
Chavez Jr. with a blank expression.
We're going to talk a little minute before we listen to the post-fight interview. If you don't know, Canelo versus Golovkin is official, September the 16th, 2017. Chavez Jr. looked like shit, you know, and I understand there's a lot of people that are upset that they brought the pay-per-view. I understand you probably had some barbecue, you know, you had some tecate, and you like, I paid $70 for this shit. You have every right to be upset. Now, understand me, I can't be mad. It's a part of my job. My job is to buy every pay-per-view, you know, and to watch that. I even brought the Roy Jones pay-per-view. No bullshit. He owed me a fight for that. It's like this, right? You know, we're going to get deep into things, but I'm really trying to understand, did Chavez Jr. lose because he's just not shit? Or did he lose because I don't know. But Canelo whooped his ass. Canelo whooped his ass. Let's listen to a Canelo interview or Chavez interview.
You lost every round. You went the distance, but took a beating tonight. What happened?
Bueno, me ganó en la distancia, en la velocidad. Estaba amarrado un poquito fuera de distancia y Canelo, buen peleador, estaba muy activo.
You know, he beat me at distance. You know, I wasn't feeling at distance, and he's a very active fighter. He's a good fighter.
Coming into the fight, everyone figured that you would try to use your size on the inside with Canelo, that you would crowd him, lean on him, roll with him, which is your style. And we heard coming into the fight, you would maybe box from a distance early.
Lo que pasa es que yo quería boxearlo, fue cuando él se fue a las puertas. Lo que pasa es que me faltó tirar más golpes.
You know, I wanted to box, but then he went to the ropes, and I just needed to throw more punches.
Así le era más vulnerable si yo lo hubiera atacado, me hubiera contravolteado más. Intenté hacer una pelea que Nacho me dijo, pero no estaba muy acostumbrado a hacer ese estilo.
You know, if I would attack more, I would have been open for counter punches. And Nacho instead wanted me to do it this style, but it's not my style. It didn't work for me.
So you think it was a mistake, the strategy?
No, yo creo que
Just threw Nacho under the bus.
No, vengo de pocas peleas, me faltó un poco más la distancia y la velocidad.
You know, I think I haven't had too many fights, and I needed more distance and more speed.
Es la clave en la velocidad y la distancia.
And that was the key, the speed and the distance.
Of course, pulling him to the ropes, where you usually do your best work, would leave you open to counters. That's what he does. That's why everyone thought this would be such a great fight. And yet when he countered you against the ropes, you seemed easily discouraged and backed up and gave him room. Why did you do that rather than keep him right on the ropes?
No sentí toda mi fortaleza con el peso, me sentí un poco débil, no pude tirarle todos los golpes que hubiera querido.
You know, I feel kind of dwindled. I didn't feel my power. I didn't feel like I threw all the punches that I wanted to. I just couldn't.
Y es un buen peleador rápido, bastante consistente.
He's a good fighter. He's very fast and he's very consistent.
Julio, what was your father yelling at you in between rounds later in the fight? Did you hear him?
Que me soltara, que tirara más golpes porque es lo que me ofendió.
To let go, to throw more punches because it's what I needed.
Julio, thanks for talking to us after a tough loss. Jim?
Boy, he has never shown enormous passion for his boxing career. He's had 3 layoffs of more than a year within the last 5 years. He's just been mercilessly booed by Mexican fans whose inner urge is to honor his family name. I got a hunch we're not going to see him again. What do you think?
I have the same hunch, Jim. It's going to be very hard for him to bounce back from such a defeat. Not only because of the way he lost it, but this was a country-to-country battle. It's like I tell people, there are some people in the world who won't fight nobody else outside of their house, but they will fight.
Chavez Jr. lost a lot tonight. We're going to talk about it.
Countryman, and that can't get you up and going. I don't know if much else can.
Max Kellerman now with the winner, Canelo Alvarez.
Congratulations, Canelo.
Okay, let's just pause right there for a minute. Basically, if you don't know what's going to happen is Canelo versus Golovkin is official. Now we don't have no more shit to talk because the fight is finally happening. Now we can go into predictions and why we feel Canelo should win or why we feel Golovkin should win. And I'm really interested to know, how much Golovkin is going to make for the fight. But regardless of the fact the fight is happening, I'm happy it's happening. So I'm glad that, it's not one of them things that's hanging over our head and we don't have to worry about, because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, they might try to make Canelo versus Lemieux, TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. So this is going to run a bit long, but for the people who didn't, okay, a lot of people don't understand that the reason why we play these post-fight interviews is because of the different broadcast areas. For example, some people say, oh, well, I only get to hear the Sky Sports version. So this is all relevant for the people who get to hear it. So that's why, I'm replaying it.
Dominant performance. Before the fight, you told me that you didn't feel any special animosity towards Julio, even though he said that you hadn't represented Mexican boxing as well as you could have. Now that the fight's over, can you tell us, it seemed like you had some extra animosity, did you?
Así es, yo creo que la rivalidad que existía entre él y yo fue una inspiración para mí, para mostrarle a la gente que no nomás sé noquear, sino también sé boxear, sé moverme, sé pegar, sé hacer todo. Con un peleador más grande, más fuerte, hice lo que tenía que hacer para ganar.
Yes, it was an additional inspiration, but I showed that I could move, I could box, I could do everything against a fighter who was bigger, who was stronger. I could do all those things.
Canelo, before the fight, you also seemed excited by the idea of being in a great all-Mexican showdown. But throughout history, those fights have always taken place between 2 great Mexican fighters. You needed a dance partner tonight. It seemed easy for you. Are you at all disappointed that Chavez didn't give you more of a fight so you could have created a more memorable night for Mexican boxing?
No, realmente yo pensé que iba a salir a intercambiar golpes. Se movió mucho, no tiró casi. Cuando yo me quedaba en las cuerdas para intercambiar golpes, pero no entraba mucho. Yo quería darle al público una gran pelea, pero creo que a lo que pude les di una gran pelea y es lo único que me interesa.
You don't know, and I thought
You know, I would bring him in. I thought he was going to fight. I would bring him into the ropes. I thought he would throw punches so that I could showcase myself, but he wouldn't do it. He just wouldn't throw punches. But I wanted to give the Mexican public a great fight.
Mostré otras cosas que puedo hacer arriba del cuadrilátero y puedo hacer muchas más. Siempre he dicho que lo que el rival me dé la pauta para hacerlo, voy a hacer para ganar.
I've shown that I can do lots of things in the ring. I said I can do lots of things in the ring. I demonstrated tonight. Whatever the fighter brings me, I can showcase myself.
The other thing you did was stand up in between rounds throughout the entire fight. Why did you do that?
No sé, quise experimentar algo nuevo. Siempre que hago sparring no me siento y me siento bien. Quise experimentar algo nuevo y realmente
Yo, do you think?
creo que me sentí mejor no sentándome. Yo sí le dije a mi esquina.
Let me ask you something.
No me iba a sentar hasta que fuera necesario.
Let me ask you something. Did y'all notice that around like big fights, De La Hoya be getting, you know, a little weird? You know? Like it seems like he goes on these binges where he be looking like either drunk or like, you know, high. Did y'all wonder that? I just hope he keeps it together, man, because I think like what would happen if Canelo were to lose, right? If he what if Canelo lost this fight? What would Golden Boy really have? You see what I'm saying? So they did some old WCW, WWF Monday Night War 1997 type shit, 1997-98 type shit, where Golovkin, they announced Golovkin after Canelo called him out. It was kind of cheesy a little bit, you know, but let me see.
You know, I wanted to try something new.
I said earlier, the only thing that was missing was for Billy Joe Saunders to come out with the microphone and say, you guys can't fight each other because now it's going to be a triple threat. And, you know, he take the WBO title and smash fucking Abel Sanchez in the face with it. You know? So, you know, they had Golovkin come out to his music and shit, get into the ring. Shit was lit. I was like,
necessary there, and it wasn't necessary here. And I told my corner I wouldn't sit down until it was absolutely necessary.
I'm just told that there is a plan in place for your next opponent.
Listen.
Who is it?
Golovkin, you are next, my friend.
They cut the promo up on the Titantron. And I was like, that's the Kazakhstan flag. I was like, that's the Kazakhstan. Look, he's like, what are you? And then listen, earlier in the night, what they did was they showed Golovkin, Sanchez, and Golovkin's promoter sitting together, and Lampley was like, they're here. He was like, you know, there was a lot of smoke about it that was gonna show up tonight. Yo, I thought it was good old JR. And I was like, oh, Golovkin's there. Then they pull this shit. Did y'all see it? Did y'all see it? Y'all didn't see it? Shit was lit. And I was doing a video at the time when it happened. And I was like, oh. I was hyped. Well, we don't really, I guess I can't. I wish I could show this to y'all. That's why, listen, I did some shit, yo. I did some major shit. You'll get to see next Sunday night at midnight. I did some major shit. So I'm not going to do no more videos after this until next Sunday night. I did some major shit. Major shit. But yeah, they should have had him rise above the hate, meaning Canelo. You know, like had him on like a fiery platform like they did AJ last week with the CNA on fire. But what I'll do is I have him rise high as shit and be like, yeah, I'm higher than you, AJ. I don't care how long it takes. I have them just like hovering up and shit. Ron's right above the hate, Canelo.
So, am I to understand that the deal is done, that there will be a fight between you two in September of this year?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's done.
Gennady, you've been waiting for a long time for this moment or for that moment. What do you feel now?
I feel very excited, guys. Right now, it's a different story. I think in September, it's big Mexican style, big drama show. We're ready.
Are you saying that that will be the big Mexican showdown that we were hoping to get tonight?
Tonight, first of all, congrats to Canelo. Canelo team, he looks good. I think right now, everybody excited for fight for us.
Canelo, what about you? For so long now, you've been criticized for not fighting Triple G as though you would duck a fighter when you were telling everyone all along, your promoter said this is the way the business needs to get done. Now that you're going to fight Triple G, what would you like to say to your fans?
People pissed about buying this motherfucking pay-per-view.
I've never feared anyone since the 16th year of my age, since I was 16 and I've been fighting as a professional.
Somebody was bullying Canelo at 16.
When I was born, fear was gone. I never got my share of fear.
You have had an excellent career so far.
I never liked that translator dude.
But the thought is, to beat Triple G, you will have to have the real greatness come out in you in a way that it hasn't yet. How do you feel about that?
Yo me siento muy bien, me siento muy contento. Pelea con pelea voy avanzando y estoy seguro que cuando llegue la pelea de Golovkin voy a mostrar muchas más cosas. Siempre el rival da pauta para dar grandes peleas y creo que vamos a dar una gran pelea él y yo.
I'm very happy. Little by little, I'm growing. And again, I said, before, the rival, the opponent is going to give me the tools to showcase myself. And that's what's going to happen.
Canelo looked very impressive tonight, Gennady. What did you think about his performance?
It's a very nice performance. Congratulations, his team. Yeah, he looks good. Right now, it's new story. Fight for us.
Is Canelo the biggest challenge of your professional career?
100%, yes.
He is the best opponent you will face.
He is, yeah, of course.
Is he the greatest challenge of your professional career, Canelo?
Es lo que se espera para septiembre, el reto más grande.
That's what we had to expect for September.
He tenido grandes peleas difíciles. Él es un peleador duro y creo que va a ser una gran pelea. Una pelea dura para el público que ha querido ver esta pelea también.
I've had difficult fights, tough fights, and that is going to be no doubt a tough fight. And this one was supposed to be a tough fight as well.
Por eso lo vuelvo a repetir. La era del Canelo es la mejor porque peleó con los mejores.
And I always say, Canelo era is the best because I fought the best.
We will undoubtedly do a face-off between now and when the fight occurs. But for now, Triple G, is there anything you'd like to tell Canelo?
Good luck in September.
Canelo, anything you'd like to tell Triple G?
La suerte es para los mediocres, my friend.
Luck is for the mediocre people.
Canelo got a smart-ass mouth.
Apparently, Christmas is going to come really early this year, folks. Jim?
Canelo got a smart-ass mouth. Did you notice he be talking like all this shit now? Canelo going heel. Anyway, people mad as shit. Not only people mad at me, because you know how this whole social media thing goes. When you get a prediction wrong, as I did, or as you know, I go with my heart all the time. Not all the time, a good portion of the time. That's why I tell people, don't gamble on my videos. Don't. You know what I'm saying? I be saying some dumb shit sometimes. So I try to let y'all. Basically, my goal is to to give you the keys to victory, on to tell you about the promotional side of shit. To tell you about how fighters are doing in camp. How a fighter can win, why they would win, why they should win. But me, I'll go ahead and say some shit like, man, Chavez Jr. gonna walk him down. Chavez Jr., he ain't gonna be drained. He gonna get in there. Like, what about the power? What if the power doesn't carry up? I will talk all that shit. I'll do it for months. But I was pissed. And you know what? I'm so glad. Let me tell you what happened. I took a nap, right? Now, normally, I always say I'm going to take my nap, from like 6 p.m. to like 9 p.m., but it never worked out that way because you have like an HBO event or a Showtime event or a PBC event that'll come on like anywhere between, 9 p.m. to 11:45 p.m. or some shit like that. So I woke up exactly at 10:14 and Emmanuel Taylor had already been beat up. So I was so glad that I was able to take my nap before this bullshit, because that shit would have put me to sleep. It would have did me in. Canelo was fights like that where somebody getting just beat up for like a good portion, or in this case every single round. I kick back. That shit I can't do it. I'm getting up there, getting long in the tooth. So I was sitting there watching this shit wide awake, like, damn, motherfuckers are gonna be coming at my neck. I was sitting there like, damn, and we saw it from round one when Canelo threw that first right hand to the body, and that shit was fast, and that shit went whop. Chavez Jr. took those 2 steps back, and I was like, oh shit. Well, it's gonna take a couple rounds for Chavez Jr. to fill himself out. 4 rounds later, Chavez Jr. getting uppercutted, getting punched all in the neck. Shit. He was getting beat up. And then it was at one point in time where Canelo did what we know that Canelo normally does, but he did it because he wanted to, where he just started leaning on the ropes and inviting Chavez in. He was toying with him. Chavez would get right there in front, in the space where he needed to work, and would throw like 1 or 2 punches that should have landed like right on the rib cage, more so on the elbow, and then he'd back off. He looked like he got a check. He looked like somebody slid him that envelope. What's the dude from Inspector Gadget? The fucking dude you only see his hand and shit in the cat. Dude slid Chavez Jr. a fucking envelope and said, take it easy out there, bro. Take it easy on Canelo. No, I'm just joking. I don't know. Hey, I'm just saying, man. That shit was fucked up because it was like, we watching it, right? And it's like we're seeing him right there. And Canelo's not throwing any punches. So you're thinking, Chavez, throw some punches. What type of shit was that, man? This sport is fucked up. And looking at it, as watching as much boxing as I do, think about it, right? Chavez Jr. spent his camp making weight, not working on shit. Then you got Nacho. God bless Nacho. Nacho ain't never did, God bless Nacho. But Nacho telling him to box. What's going on in that camp? He telling him to try to box Canelo. Not go out there and beat this little guy up. You supposed to be the bigger fighter. What's going on? What type of shit's going on in that camp? They probably got into that piss. That camp, man. They had Marquez drinking that piss. Same camp. That same camp had Marquez drinking piss. So maybe somebody was slipping Chavez Jr. some piss. That piss ain't, that piss don't help you, obviously. So now it's like, does Chavez Jr. fight again? He got his check. He got $3 million off the top. No telling how much he getting from the pay-per-view buys. He an Al Heyman fighter, so Al Heyman took care of him. He probably don't have to fight. He probably don't have to fight again. Chavez Jr. probably gonna go home and chill. He can smoke all the tree he want now. He made weight. That was the fight. Remember when he got on the scale? Let me go show y'all. Remember, you knew shit was real about making that weight when his ass got on that scale. I'm gonna show you. You knew shit was real. That's when I was like, yeah, this motherfucker won the fight already. It was like, he won the fight. When I saw this shit, when I saw the crazy eyes, when I saw this shit right here, I was like, oh yeah, he won. You know, look at him. Come on, man. You know, come on. That was the fight. The fight was the weigh-in. So in his mind, Chavez had won. He said, listen, people don't believe in me. They all saying I can't make weight. Watch me show them. I'll show them all. He said, fuck fight night. He ain't have nothing for fight night. He made that weight. He said, I'll show them all. Smoking all that trick. You know, he can go home. He can, you know, he can eat. He can tell his pop, you know, leave me alone, pop. Listen, like we got this bread. And so we already knew I was never going to be you. Let me go enjoy my bread. I'm done. He can go get in his Lambo, you know, his multiple Lambos. He can start going back to training when he won in his backyard and uploading pictures and stuff to Instagram. You know, he can get fat. He can get fat. He can chill. You know, leave Chavez alone. Let him be young. Let him live life. I'm just mad anybody had to buy that pay-per-view. And the thing is, they hyped the shit out of this fight, didn't they? I was hype as hell. Everybody was, we was all hype. And the crazy thing is, the undercard was pretty good. You know? Chavez Jr., look, it's all on him. That don't count me. My job is to hype fights. My job is to hype shit up. That's my job, to hype shit up. You know, so now, oh, by the way, I did something major. So little disclaimer. I'm not doing any more videos after this until next Sunday midnight. Some major shit went down. Some major shit went down. So all I'm gonna say about that. So all I'm gonna say about that. The rebirth, the phoenix has risen from the ashes. But yeah, man, you know, now it's like, where does Chavez Jr. go? So basically, in the last 2 nights, we saw like 2 careers like kind of end. Because think about it, right? Chavez Jr. already used his quit when he quit against Fonfara. So he couldn't quit this fight. And he couldn't get knocked out. And his corner knew, like, damn, we can't stop this fight. He already getting fucked up. And he already quit against Fonfara. So if we stop this fight, then it's going to be that Canelo stop, you know. So he had to sustain that ass whipping for 12 rounds. That ass whipping had to be sustained. You know, this was fun. That shit was sad. And the fact that they had Canelo Golovkin already ready to be announced after the fight, they had the confetti. So they already had that shit up there, like, yeah, well, you know, Chavez Jr. gonna get beat the fuck up tonight. Our job is just to fucking pull the string of the confetti down and shit. Then we get the bounce. We gotta pack up all those tables over in the A section. Then, you know, check out. You know, they already had the confetti and shit. They already had the promo made and shit. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Hence why people think, man, Chavez got some extra bread. He got paid off. He said, man, I don't never want to fight again. Give me a couple more mil. They already had that shit done, yo. They already had that shit done. What time is it here? It's 2:15. Yeah, I'm done. We're gonna be here for another 45 minutes. And then I got some major shit I did. So next Sunday, midnight is when I'm gonna be back. I might even go full social media silent. Until then, I got some crazy shit. Heyman was up in there. Chavez Jr. is a Heyman fighter. Chavez Jr. is a Heyman fighter. Now they can get off Canelo back. I know people probably asking, what's the catch weight? Is that catch weight? This fight's supposed to be a full 160. We'll know. I know they're going to have a press tour. I'm up in there. I know they're going to have a New York press conference. We got to get to that, right? We got to get to that. Canelo a shit talker now. Canelo is the A-side. And he making sure people know that. Poor Chavez. Well, the good thing is, he's like a multi-millionaire and shit. And maybe he don't give a fuck. Maybe he just like, damn, I lost. Shit, I made that weight, though. I made that weight. A lot of people really thought he wasn't going to make weight. I'm thinking about, damn. But we did. But one thing that we know is he can make a workout tape. He can make a workout tape. Yeah. But I don't know. It's not one of them fights where you can like make an excuse for because of the weight. Because I already said that. Well, I feel that Chavez Jr. can make 160 if he wants to. I'm not saying he should do it. He said at the press conference, the post-fight press conference, I did get a chance to check out a little bit of it, that he's going to stay at 168 pounds. And he's not talking about retiring. But it's like, does he okay, put it this way. Chavez Jr. is the type of fighter where you got to keep him active. You don't want him going on long layoffs because he get discouraged. And also, he's been training his ass off to make weight. And okay, as I said earlier, it looks like he's been training or using his camp to make weight and not work on some shit. Anytime you got Nacho, who's supposed to be this critically acclaimed Hall of Fame, Mexican trainer down there in Mexico, no disrespect, telling Chavez Jr. of all people to try to box, right? When it's like, yo, bro, you're in the minority. Everyone feels that Chavez Jr. should be trying to bully him, should be trying to bully Canelo and walk him down. But you telling him to try to box? What's wrong with you, bro? And I understand that you're the trainer and everything, but it's like, yo, he lost. That shit didn't work. Obviously, telling him to pump the jab. Canelo uppercutting him to death. Smashing his face all in. Canelo was doing whatever he wanted. He was doing whatever he wanted. He was opening up 5 punch combinations of whoop ass, yo. He was opening up kids of whoop ass out there. And then Chavez Jr. was so shook and scared that he'd be right there. Canelo would stop throwing punches. Chavez wouldn't throw no punches, afraid of getting counted. Chavez would just be right there and wouldn't throw no punches because he was scared to get counted. It looked like a glorified sparring. It was a sparring session because Chavez Jr. was trying to figure out how to get on the inside. It looked like, when he was getting on the inside against Canelo, he's like, let me see if I can try to figure out how to curve this left hook. He wasn't in there trying to do no damage. He was trying to learn some shit. That shit did like 1 million pay-per-view buys. Okay, we know for sure that it can it's tracking over 600,000 pay-per-view buys. So it did at least that. So it could be 900, 1,000. I think this fight had more buzz than Cotto versus Canelo, didn't it? They could do 1 million, maybe 1.1. But I say 900K. Chavez Jr. I don't want to, and the thing is, I've always been a Chavez Jr. fan, but I don't want to see him fight no more. What else? What do I want to see him for? For what? For what? Against who? Because off of a performance like that, it's like, how can you say he's back and he's more focused? And it's like, yo, bro, you wasn't even throwing any punches or nothing. You wasn't doing shit, man. You wasn't like, I don't want to see him against George Groves. I don't want to see him against James DeGale. I don't want to see him against no 100, no Colin Smiths, no Anthony Durrells or Andre Durrells. I don't want to see none of that. That's the 168-pound landscape. I don't want to see none of that. Do you want to see any of that crap? After what I've seen tonight, I don't want to see it. Oh, and let's not talk about Gamboa quitting. Gamboa, he's done. He's done. You ever make like the perfect chicken, right? The perfect baked chicken or Cornish hen. And when you go to check and see if it's done, you've made it so perfectly that when you take that fork and like stick it into the breast, right? The skin is still attached, but when you stick it into the breast, the skin splits, a little bit of steam comes out, and the juice starts bubbling up. It's Gamboa. Gamboa's done. He's well done. It's cooking in the juices. Right? Gamboa's career is cooking in the juices right now. The flame is turned off. The flame is turned off. He got beat. Yo, he got beat up by a journeyman, yo. This weekend has been crazy for boxing. Dude that hit him with basically the same shot. Let's go look at it. Let's go look at it. Why don't we? That's what we got this shit for. I mean, some major technological advancements, man. Next week, midnight, next Sunday or Monday. Is it going on Monday? I don't remember. Look at this guy, crazy eyes. What were we looking for? It's crazy shit right here. But he still fucked up. And then after the round ended, he was going to the wrong corner and shit. Look, where you going, bro? Look, you did a little two-step. Listening to the Chocolate Factory. So watch the replay. So if you don't know, he quit. So it's like, dude, like it's like remember when Nicholas Walters quit against Lomachenko because he was getting schooled and outclassed. Gamboa quit the same way against like a journeyman because dude just broke his will. And the crazy thing is how fucked up as it may sound, if Gamboa would have just went the distance, they probably would have robbed Castellanos and gave Gamboa the victory. That's how fucked up this boxing shit is, and he quit. People were talking about him versus Lomachenko, meaning Gamboa. You're tripping. Lay off the bath salts. Lay off the PCP. Lay off the Quaaludes. Lay off the Pabst Blue Ribbon. So yeah, it's happening September the 16th. HBO pay-per-view, Canelo versus Golovkin. And yes, it's Canelo versus Golovkin. It's already been determined he's the A side. You know, it was smart by Golovkin's team to not take that Billy Joe Saunders fight and to just go ahead for that Canelo fight, because basically they could have very well lost that Danny Jacobs fight, and then their pay, you know, could have been cut in half or more than half for the Canelo fight. So I guess it was one of those. I guess it was one of those type of things where Golovkin's team was like, "Listen, we gotta get this payday now," you know. Just like that Kell Brook fight. That Kell Brook fight was for a payday. So now for both of these guys, they have so much, you know, off their backs now, because people can't say, "Oh, well, Golovkin should take that money to fight Canelo," and yada yada. The fight is now happening. For Canelo, people say, "Oh, he dropped his belt to give it to Golovkin." The fight is happening now. So now it's like, what the fuck are we gonna talk about? We gotta hype the fight. So the goal is for Canelo Golovkin to happen. Canelo beats Golovkin. You know, he goes on to fight David Lemieux. If Golovkin beats Canelo, he goes on to fight Billy Joe Saunders. So Billy Joe Saunders got a nice little while to hold on to his titles, but first he's got like 2 mandatories he's got to fight. So Billy Joe Saunders might as well just chill, you know, fall back. He's out of the mix until at least December, maybe even May of next year. You know, so I just hope that, man, if Canelo beats Golovkin, then he doesn't drop the belt and he just goes and be undisputed. I'm not saying that he has to reign as being undisputed. Maybe he should, because the last reigning undisputed champion was Bernard Hopkins, even though Jermaine Taylor was the last undisputed champion. Meaning in this era, to be undisputed champion, that means you have the WBC, the WBA. The WBA is the most oldest of the titles. So basically, let me stay focused. You got the WBC, WBA, the IBF, and the WBO and the ring. Or you can say, okay, the IBO title too. But for the most part, you know, to be undisputed, you have to have the WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO. You know, and you should have the Ring magazine. You know, so the last person to have all of those was Jermaine Taylor for beating Bernard Hopkins. So right now, Golovkin is very close, and now Canelo is close because he's fighting Golovkin. You know, so I just hope that Canelo, you know, doesn't vacate any of those titles and says, you know, well, you know, they wanted me to such and such, I'll be, you know, undisputed at a later date. We're not going to worry about it right now. I just don't want to hear none of that shit. Because one thing about being undisputed is you have to fight your mandatories, because you can't just hold up the belt in that division. So as an undisputed champion, they want you to fight 3 times a year, but normally a champion fights 2. You know, so but what can happen is they can order Canelo. I'm going way too far into the future. I'm going way too far into the future. You know, all I'm saying is I don't want Canelo, if he beats Golovkin, to drop any of those belts until he gets that WBO or all 4, or Billy Joe Saunders to do the same thing. So we're in a situation for the 160-pound division as it stands right now. Either Canelo, Golovkin, Billy Joe Saunders, or Avantadil Kurtsidis could be undisputed champion by the end of this year. The last one since Bernard Hopkins. So I'm glad the fight's finally happening, man. I'm interested to see how they're going to promote it. Of course, there's going to be a press tour. You know, they're going to hit New York, of course. They're going to hit Los Angeles, Vegas, and or, you know, somewhere in Texas. They might even go to Mexico. It's going to be on HBO Pay-Per-View. You know, Sky and Box Nation are going to have over in the UK are going to have like a bidding war for the fight. It's a very huge fight, especially with the market for Golovkin, you know, over there, not just in the UK, but over in Kazakhstan and the people who, you know, Russia and all kind of stuff like that. So I'm really interested to see where it goes. Also, I don't want HBO to BS around, and I want at least give me 2 episodes of HBO 24/7. Is that a crime? Is that too much to ask? Don't get me wrong. I like Chavez, Canelo versus Chavez, a fighting tradition, but it wasn't HBO 24/7. Stop being stingy, HBO. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. Who paid for the fight tonight? What did y'all do? Was there like a lot of hype behind this fight? Like, oh yeah, that Canelo versus Chavez fight is this weekend. You know, I gotta go to the market. I gotta go get some new sneaks and shit. Like, was there like a lot of hype for this fight? Were you guys hyped for this fight? You stole it, you son of a bitch. And you know what makes me sick? It makes me sick. I said it before. For the people who don't buy fights, all the ones that be talking about this fighter shouldn't make this fighter shouldn't make that, and you know he's this and that. You're a scum, and you and it may be harsh, but you should be eradicated from the boxing community, not life, from the boxing community. For sure. You know. But whatever, man. Whatever. I wouldn't be mad at you if you because this fight was fucked up. Chavez, you know, because it's like this, right? Who do you blame it on? People say, you know, this pay-per-view, man, I'm pissed off I brought this shit. If you really boil it down to bare bones, who do you blame it on? It's Chavez Jr.'s fault. It's your fault, Chavez Jr. People mad because you didn't fight. So therefore, because you didn't fight or you were scared to get knocked out, the pay-per-view was barred. He wasn't doing nothing. There was times where he could have thrown punches and he didn't throw no punches. So therefore, bro, listen, I'm a realist. Somebody's got to take the blame, and blame Nacho. Got to blame you too, Nacho. Nacho's got to take some accountability. Nacho's got to take some accountability. You had Chavez doing all this shit in camp. Yo, he was shit. They some phonies. They some phonies, man. All that training footage and shit getting me all hyped. They some phony. You training your ass off for what? They were training to make that weight. They wasn't working on nothing. You'll see them on a speed bag and shit. But they was training to make. Well, listen, we know that if you need, like, you know, if Chavez wants to pursue another career or some shit, he could be like some fucking weight loss 164.5 pound guru. Some shit like that. And it's crazy because I don't know why I'm so mad. Well, my job is to hype up fights. You know, my job is to promote fights. You know? There's a saying that goes, I don't know if I'm going to say it right, but it was something one of the Rothschilds said. I believe it was like the elder old one, where he was like, basically, give me control of like a nation's wealth or their money. I don't care what they do with their laws. So it's like this, you know, my job is to hype up fights, you know, any means necessary to a certain extent. You know, my job is to get people to buy fights, you know, to hype this shit up. But I hyped myself up for this shit. I was hyped. I was real hype about Canelo Chavez. It was the building point of my week. And for Chavez to fucking do this shit, looking at when I saw the weigh-in yesterday and I saw him get on that scale, and I was like, I was in here cheering and shit for my goddamn self. I was like, yeah, we got this, baby. Canelo's going, damn. And I'm looking round one. Chavez ain't doing shit. He getting uppercutted. Body shot sticking. Round two, Chavez ain't doing shit. Round three, Chavez still ain't doing shit. I'm like, round seven. All right, this is the time Canelo start leaning on the ropes. Oh, Chavez getting closer. Round eight, Chavez ain't doing shit. And he gets, you know? Nobody ain't tell me what's the dude from Inspector Gadget, the villain, where you only see the arm and he got the cat. Everybody, ha ha, Inspector Gadget. Chavez got a check from that dude. Dude slid Chavez Jr. a check. Dude slid, because Chavez Jr. wasn't throwing no punches. Dude slid Chavez Jr. a check. Dr. Claw. Dr. Claw. Dude slid. Hey, let me see. Is that really him? Yeah, this dude. This shady. This dodgy dude right here sent Chavez Jr. a check. This dude. Dr. Claw. Gave Chavez Jr. that check and was like, tomorrow night, now that you made weight, I'm proud of you, but take this extra $5 million. Here. He had $5 million somehow in this little ass envelope. He had $5 million somehow in this little ass envelope. I'm gonna watch. You know what? And the thing is, I don't want to watch that shit no more though. When it comes to fights, you know, I have to watch them over and over and over again, especially the night of the fight. So, for example, after this stream is over, I'm going to be working on my videos, do a little bit of social media shit, you know, and then while I'm doing that, the fight's going to be playing in the background. Then in the morning, for some reason, I always watch the version that comes on like HBO or Showtime, like, you know, that 9 a.m., 10 a.m. version or something. I always watch that, then end up watching it again. But the truth is, I don't want to watch this shit no more. But I'm going to look at it again and be like, yo, you know, like, what was up, Chavez? You owe me some answers, man. You owe me some answers, man, because I'm sick of riding for him, you know, and then he do some crazy ass shit. And if you really think about it, this was some crazy ass shit. Dude did not fight. So people are saying like, you know, well, you know, this is like Mayweather Pacquiao. No, Mayweather was making Pacquiao look stupid. To whereas in this case, Chavez Jr. was not trying to look stupid. He wasn't throwing any punches. He wasn't doing shit. He didn't do shit. I don't know what this shit is. I don't know what. And the thing is, I guess I haven't fully processed it yet. I don't know what that shit was. What was that I watched? What was y'all thinking when y'all was at your homie crib? You know, you was watching it with your girl. Or what if you one of them motherfuckers, right? And I did it before, you know, like where you chilling with your girl. And you're like, we're just going to stay in and watch the fight. Let's go to the market real quick. And let's go get some food. Maybe get some crab legs or some shrimp. We're going to just chill, watch the fight. And you're watching this shit. And then like round 7, round 8, she like, I'm tired. She started getting ready for bed. But you watching, you still got hope. All food and shit, everything been put in the fridge, been put away. I feel sorry for the people who purchased that pay-per-view, but however, if you're a hardcore boxing fan, it's your duty to support the sport. But my God, if you would have blamed somebody, you blame Chavez Jr. because I can't think of nobody else to blame. And people, it's like this, right? Let's be real. I consider myself, as I said, a realist. Let's be real, right? Why didn't you like the pay-per-view? Oh, it was boring. Why was it boring? Oh, the main event wasn't that good. Why wasn't the main event good? Oh, Chavez Jr. didn't come to fight. Simple mathematics. Simple mathematics. So you blame somebody. And if you look at it, you want to take it even deeper. Well, why didn't Chavez Jr. come to fight? Well, Nacho, his trainer, told him to box. So, real truth be told, I guess blame falls on you, Nacho. I guess blame. We gotta. I don't want to blame. I didn't want to blame the old man. I feel like scum. But we gotta blame you, Nacho. I blame you, Nacho. Chavez Jr. made wait. Yo, we gotta wait for those drug tests to come back though. Nacho, how did Nacho do his part? What do you mean? Nacho told him to box. I blame Chavez for picking Nacho. Okay, well then listen, that works too. So the blame still falls on Chavez. The blame still falls on Chavez. Yeah, I had just woke up when Matisse had beat up Manuel Taylor. I didn't watch the fight yet, so I gotta watch it. You know, it ain't over for Nacho. Nacho back with Marquez. Marquez back June 24th. He trying to see if his bum ass knee is gonna hold up. Yeah, Nacho have Dia back June 24th. The same day as Cotto versus Kamigai. Kamigai, cool dude. He be showing love on the gram. Chavez Jr. got robbed. Yo, lay off the what's a hardcore ass drug? Whatever that lay off the Walter White. Right? Lay off that Heisenberg. But you know what? Canelo's getting better every fight. Did you notice that? I mean, maybe it's because we're seeing him at like a more weight that he's more natural at. His weight division is 160 pounds. But he fought at 164.5. He was looking sharp. He was looking sharp. You know? He didn't sit in between rounds. He was looking real comfortable out there. Him versus Golovkin to me is honestly, I'm going to say it's 50-50. But if I had to go one way, I'm going to go 55 Canelo, 45, Golovkin. I don't know, man. I don't know. Gonna have to see, man. Gonna have to see. Is this the best year for boxing? HBO is doing real good with boxing. Even though they're making us pay for these fights, their attempts. If you look at Golovkin versus Jacobs, that was a good pay-per-view. If you look at Canelo versus Chavez, it was a good pay-per-view on paper. Then if you look at Kovalev War versus Kovalev 2, good pay-per-view. Then if you look at Canelo versus Golovkin, good pay-per-view. These are some good pay-per-views on paper. Also, Premier Boxing Champions Al Heyman has been putting on some good fights. And if you look at his fighters, Danny Jacobs was in one of those HBO pay-per-views. Chavez Jr., his fighter, in one of those HBO pay-per-views. You see what I'm saying? So, all across the board, boxing is doing real good. Especially since egos are being forced out, and these promoters have to work together. For example, most notably, Al Heyman is in a situation where he has to work with other promoters now. So that's in network. So that's making things, move so much. Things are doing real good right now with boxing. So yeah, we got to talk about Joshua versus Klitschko. For this Dan. We're going to stick around for 14 more minutes. It's like this, right? I want to see Klitschko fight again. I think that he still has a lot left, you know, and I think when it comes to Deontay Wilder, he beats Deontay Wilder. He surely beats Joseph Parker. I do feel when it comes to, you know, the other heavyweights in the division, you know, he beats a good portion of them. And if you look at what he was doing against Anthony Joshua, correct a couple of mistakes that he made, and he would have won the fight. But woulda, coulda, shoulda, Anthony Joshua won by brutal stoppage. You see what I'm saying? So Anthony Joshua is good, but there are flaws there. And most notably, how does Anthony Joshua do going forward with conditioning? You know, at 250 pounds, I say he's too heavy. I say he should be at 240, 245. Remember, Klitschko came into this fight smaller, and he looked noticeably smaller in there because he was counting on mobility and also being able to go the distance. Remember, this wasn't a hug fest. These guys wasn't hugging and clinching, which takes a lot of energy out of you. You know, Klitschko was doing a lot of moving to whereas in Joshua was loading up a lot of his shots, which is one of the reasons why he seemed to be gassed out, you know, later, I mean, in the middle of the fight, and then ended up getting knocked down. You know, so it's like this, right? If Vladimir Klitschko was to retire off of that loss, you know, it probably would hone him to think like, damn, you know, if I would have did this, I could have, you know. But looking at the heavyweight landscape, I think Vladimir Klitschko is smart enough, and he is, to know that, damn, if I don't fight Anthony Joshua, I know I won't be there immediately get Wilder. He's probably looking at it like, I'll be fighting these fights, but they're not for no championships. So he's probably not in it for the money at this point in time in his career, you know, because the Joshua fight could have happened, but he said he didn't want to fight the Joshua fight for just one belt, which is one of the reasons why the WBE put the Super World title on the line. Now, as far as Joseph Parker is concerned, you know, I think we can all right now see that he's the weakest of the heavyweights. You know, like and it's not, you know, that maybe skill wise, it's just that we're going by what we see. You know, so we can understand why Wilder wants him next. And also, if Wilder doesn't fight him, then Wilder is going to have to fight Bermane Stiverne. You know? But I do have Anthony Joshua beating Deontay Wilder. And if Deontay Wilder was to win, Deontay Wilder's got to use a lot of movement, and his reach is going to be key. He's going to have to put on a boxing lesson, and he's going to have to stay away from throwing those hooks. His hooks are too wild, and they're going to leave, and he'd be leaving his feet, and they're going to leave him open to be brutally KO'd. Right? Those Deontay Wilder hooks be begging for a counter punch. Be begging for it. So with his mechanics, the way he be jumping all around and shit, imagine, right? If he gets countered, he gonna get countered on some mean shit. That's just gonna be ugly. You know, his arm is gonna be all, you know, that's just gonna be ugly. Yeah, that's true. You know, Deontay Wilder does have the power because, you know, what we see is that Deontay Wilder's straight right hand, not his hooks, once again, not his hooks. Deontay Wilder's straight right hands are vicious. And when and then when he times it up after the jab, Deontay Wilder's jab has been developing and getting better. You know, so that's why I say if he was to beat Anthony Joshua, he's going to have to use a lot of moving, but his key punch is going to be the jab, and he's going to have to set up that right hand. He's got to set that right hand up straight down the pipe because we've seen Anthony Joshua can go down. You know, so he's got to, yeah, Deontay Wilder's boxing skills is limited from it's mechanically limited. There's things he's got to work on there. And I know that he knows, you know, these things, and maybe he just gets too excited. You know, maybe he just gets too excited. But his keys to be able to beat, you know, Anthony Joshua is he's got to land those straight rights straight down the pipe. Because he's not known as a body puncher, and he doesn't have his uppercuts are not, you know. Yeah, that's true. Wilder can't KO any heavyweight. But it's just that he's got those flaws defensively. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, when he be throwing those hooks, man, he be all off balance and body be twisting it all off proportion. Shit be looking crazy, man. And I be scared to death. Because I be thinking like, man, the way he be so wild throwing those hooks, all it takes is one nice counter punch and his knockout, he gonna be knocked out. Like that shit gonna be clear. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly. He might get knocked out, go spinning around and shit, man. And I don't want to see that. I don't think I'm ready for that. I'm human. I don't think I'm ready to see that. Andy Ruiz, I don't know what's up with him, man. I hope he's not on one of them long-ass layoffs. Because already his layoff is too long. Anytime the person you lost to is already back for today, yesterday. Joseph Parker fought his sparring partner and didn't look good. How you fight your sparring partner? And your sparring partner put that work on you in the boxing ring. Big Baby Miller's having some promotional issues still, from my understanding. He's got to sort that shit. He's a huge dude. Pause. 3G got problems. Problem with what? Oh, please don't talk about Mayweather McGregor. Listen, man, I don't want to hear that. That fight, man. The thing is that they're working on it. They're working on it. But that fight is not something that we should be concerning ourselves with, man. What's up with me and Roy Jones? Roy Jones. Hey, listen, I called Roy Jones out many times. He won't. Let me show y'all what I. But Roy, I guess he on some nut ass shit. He want to be. I told his team to contact my team, right? And for some reason, let's see. I'm trying to get the fight. My team, we've been calling him out. But he won't accept the challenge. And I guess Roy won't accept the challenge because Roy ain't no challenge. Right? I stole that from Clever Lane. I can make weight. No, I was pissed after I brought that Roy Jones Bobby Gunn fight. I was real pissed. So I said, you know what? Let me call Roy out. And he wanted to start putting all these crowns on like my Instagram post. And I was like, oh no, man. You ain't gonna be coming at me like that. So I called him out. And then we started negotiating. And I tried to get my team to contact his team. They went silent. So enough about that. But for the right fight, I'll make weight. For the right fight, and we ain't doing no drug testing. We ain't doing no PED testing. But I'll make weight. Yeah, you know what? You know what? It's crazy that I keep forgetting that we got Pacquiao versus Horn. I haven't done a video on that yet. I keep forgetting we got Pacquiao versus Horn coming up. So listen, this is what we're gonna do. I did some major things, right? Everything is done and it's changing. So I'm not gonna do any more videos until next Sunday at midnight, or it's gonna be Monday going into midnight, something like that. We're gonna do a live stream. I'm gonna talk about everything. So I can't put it no better than that. That I did some real major things. And it's done. It's taken some years, but it's done. It's finally done. I'm not going to say any more than that, even though I want to sit here and run my mouth. I'm not going to say any more than that. I'll see you guys next week.